napapanood at nakikinig ngayong gabi from east to west. Ito po ay Connect, Kapatiran para sa Bayan. Ako po ay inyong tagalingkod, si Attorney Teddy Calao. Tayo po ay napapanood via test broadcast sa Digital Free TV niya Aliw 23, sa Sky Cable Channel 72, TV Plus Channel 27 at GMA For the Box Channel 32. Available din po kami sa digital TV devices at TV receivers. Mangyari po lamang na iskan ang inyong digital TV at channel boxes upang mapanood ang Aliw 23. And now to introduce at magpabahagi ang ating co-hosts. Kuya Ricky, mauna ka.
Ako po ang inyong lingkod. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Ricky ko po, kasama ko po.
Kuyang Doc Joby po, ang inyong lingkod. Kuya Jerry Sadsad po, isa ring manananggol. Huwag lang kayo magkamali, baka manananggal eh. Manananggol po.
And of course, ang ating panauhin po sa ngayong gabi, si Attorney Jigs Aquino at si Attorney Sherwin Agbon.
Wow, mukhang ang dami nating abogado ngayon.
Abogado. Bigyan natin ng isang title muna ng mga ating mga panauhin pagdangan para maipakilala natin. Maganda title ng show natin ngayon. Isang boses, isang layunin laban sa hazing. Yun, hazing. Pakilala mo na, Kuya Henry.
Kuya Ricky, pakilala mo na.
Of course, ang
si
Attorney Jigs Aquino, graduate from AB Political Science at the University of the Philippines, Baguio.
Yes, Ilocano.
Graduate Juris Doctor at the University of Cordilleras, Director of Legal Operation at American International Group, AIG. Wow. And of course, we also have Attorney Sherwin Agbon, graduate AB Economics at Xavier University Ateneo de Cagayan. Dayo rin.
Maraming salamat.
Graduated Juris Doctor at CEU Makati. Litigation Lawyer at Mosquite, Agbon and Tamaraw Law Office.
Okay. Baka meron pa silang gustong sabihin.
Yes, of course.
Kuya
Jigs. Kuya Jigs. Yes. Nahin natin na.
Panyero Jigs.
Baka may gusto kang ibato bago before we go with the
bati na po ba agad?
Pwede. Mahaba to.
Isang oras to.
Opo, so maraming salamat po ulit sa grupo po ng Kapatiran para sa Bayan sa pag-imbita po sa amin ni Attorney Sherwin dito sa programa ninyo tonight. Again, gusto ko lang namin po i-share that the primary reason that we are here today is really for the advocacy po naming dalawa na membro din ng fraternity. So gusto po namin na ikalat hindi lamang po sa Manila but in the entire Philippines po yung mga provisions po ng RA 11053.
So yung RA 11
Anti-hazing Law.
Malalim yan eh.
Malalim. Siguro wala nang patumpik-tumpik Kuya Teddy. Si Kuya Sherwin.
Magandang gabi. Thank you Sir Ted, Sir Ricky, Sir Jopi and Sir Jerry for inviting us here. Hindi ko na uulitin yung sinabi ni Sir Jigs, ni Attorney Jigs kanina, no? So we're here and for the longest time we have been disseminating and conducting information drive in different schools and different venues in spreading this anti-hazing law of 2018, no?
Attorney Sherwin, Attorney Jigs, first of all, maraming salamat sa inyong serbisyo, no? Let's talk about the law. As you know, 2018 na batas to. Bagong-bago. Ano ba nagbago sa batas?
If I may,
go ahead, Attorney Sherwin.
So the long title of the law is an act prohibiting hazing. So take note of the operative word, prohibiting hazing and regulating other forms of initiation. So this is under RA 11053. In comparison to the old law, which was RA 8049, an act regulating hazing. So we're always referring that as the anti-hazing law, but I believe it's a misnomer, no? Because it does not really prohibit. It is not really anti-hazing, but merely regulated hazing. So that's a glaring.
So ngayon, basically, sinasabi nyo ngayon na hindi na pwede.
2018 onwards, And then by definition, according to the law itself, it's any act that causes physical or psychological suffering, harm, or injury to a neophyte, an applicant, or even a member as a prerequisite in joining or gaining admission into a fraternity, sorority, or organization, or even to incumbent members or active members as a requirement for their continuing membership. So it has expanded now not only to the physical infliction of pain and suffering, but also psychological, and also to existing members, to incumbent members, if it is a requirement for their continued membership.
Attorney Jake, sino magsasabi na psychological ang suffering? Paano mo ma-define yun bago tayo mag-ano?
Yeah, so dito po sa batas mismo, sinasabi dito, that's actually one of the prohibited acts. So if for example, one of the activities resulted to the physical or psychological harm, injury, or suffering of an applicant, a recruit, or a neophyte, that will be construed as one of the prohibited acts under the law. So kung bibabase po natin to sa rules on evidence and sa rules po ng court natin, then it would be based on the evidence that will be, pieces of evidence that will be presented by the party, if it would constitute acts falling under the anti-hazing law. So I think the good thing about this as well is, tulad nga po ni sinabi ni Attorney Sherwin, this particular law does not only prohibit acts such as that would result to physical or psychological harm, but it actually prohibits as well those acts that would result to humiliation, embarrassment, those that would cause abuse or endanger.
So kailangan may abuse, humiliation, embarrassment, di ba? According sa batas. So kung yung initiation mo, umakyat ka lang ng stage kasi mag-go-out taking kayo, tapos napaiyak ka sa stage fright, hindi yung psychological.
Correct.
It's an overstretch na po.
Okay.
Overstretch na. Anyway, may konti akong katanungan, pero siguro naman na I hope mabigyan ng konting justice to. As I went over the law, nakita ko na they mention about schools, colleges, universities. It did not mention of any professional organization. And I believe Masonry is a professional organization wherein it states, meron sa implementing rules na I think, hindi ko naman sinasabi na exempted, pero more or less, hindi siya part and parcel ng sa batas. Tama po ba yun?
Sinong sasagot?
Sige. Let me address this po, because really we try to look into the implementing rules and regulations of RA 11053 relating to certain organizations that are actually exempted in the application of this rule. At sinabi po ng batas dito, it's very explicit that it actually provides several exceptions to the following groups only. So ang sinabi po niya, uniformed educational institutions. Iba pa po dyan is yung mga binibigay po na training ng PNP, PMA, dahil po ito po ay kailangan para po ma-determine kung physically fit talaga yung mga pumapasok sa kanila. And of course, yung mga organizations din po na katulad ng mga athletic organizations, because those physical activities that they're currently doing will not be construed as hazing. So yan, sinabi ko po muna yan dahil sa implementing rules and regulations po ng RA 11053 along with 11053 itself, hindi po nakasulat sa batas ngayon yung mga exempted na organization. So, hindi po nakasulat dyan ang Masonaria, hindi rin po nakasulat dyan ang Knights of Columbus or any other organization
Knights
for
of
that
Rizal.
matter. Yep. So, Knights of Rizal.
Ito, Attorney Jigs. Ito yung nagtatako. Ako isang Rotarian po. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Manila. And like other service clubs like Lions Club and other service clubs, meron kaming charging whenever may initiation kami ng member, kasi we want to make sure na members who come in are truly qualified.
Yes.
So isang miyembro, every meeting namin, every regular weekly meeting namin, syempre may charging yan where the member is initiated in a way na he is provided with a detailed explanation of his responsibilities in the order before he is made to take his oath formally before the members, and there's a ritual where the members come in and they welcome him. Would that technically fall under this law? Parang kailangan ng clarification, di ba?
I agree po, Attorney Ted. If we look into the specific definition of what initiation rites is under the law, sinasabi po dito that initiation rites would consist of ceremonies, practices or rituals that are conducted by fraternities, sororities, organizations that would not fall under any of the acts that are considered as hazing. So sinasabi po dito na lahat ng ginagawa na ritual ng mga organization, as long as it does not fall within the definition of hazing, are considered as initiation rites. At sinasabi po ng batas, this 11053, na kapag may initiation rites, kailangan meron pong observer coming from if it's a school-based organization, may observer coming from the school. At kapag naman po community-based, kailangan pong ma-observer coming from the local government
So,
unit.
Panyerong Jigs, Panyerong Sherwin, sinasabi nyo, there are two kinds, di ba? School-based at saka community-based. So, Rotary clubs, Lions clubs, Soro Optimist, because they have charging, may interpretation na dapat sila kailangan would follow this law.
If you are to strictly comply and follow the letter
So,
of the
kailangan
law,
ng clarification talaga.
Exactly.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Exactly. So,
Yes. Actually, just to enlighten you further doon, very specific implementing rules na dalawa. Actually, ang dalawa or even more organizations are not doon sa specific law or batas. Like, magkaiba yung school School-based tsaka yung community-based.
Community-based, yeah.
Yes. Hindi ko naman sinabi kung, siyempre, we will not specify an organization or a fraternity there. But very specific. Hindi ko na rin sasabihin kung sino yung yung nagsabi nun. Yung senator o sino.
okay.
Di ba? So, tama po ba yun, attorneys, Panyeros, na since in the implementing rules, it clarified those very vague provisions in the law will supplement the law itself.
That should be how an IRR operates, Attorney
Yes.
Panyero. So,
Opo.
but again, we studied and really looked into the IRR at apologies.
Attorney
Pero wala
Jigs,
po talaga.
I think mangyayari kasi dito, may lumang batas na may IRR, tapos may bagong batas na may IRR.
Correct.
Tapos under the old 8049 ba yun? Very clear, may mga exemption dun At least I remember from the IRR. Parang may kailangan ng clarification dyan, new IRR, di ba po?
Agree, Attorney
Okay.
Ted. So, mukhang clarification pa talagang kailangan natin dyan.
Kasi
Because-
alanganin naman kami naman sa mga Soroptomis, Rotary Club, Lions Club, pati kami sali dito.
Yes.
But you can read it that way if you read the IRR. So,
Correct.
I'm not saying that, na mali sila. I'm saying kailangan mag-clarification because clearly any form of ritual, pasok Di ba?
Agree. And again, this law is very young. So, kung mapapansin po natin, wala pa pong mga kaso na umabot sa Supreme Court dito sa 11053 na to. 8049 there is, right?
Yeah.
There is one case na umabot na po at na-implement na rin po yung penalty imposable by 8049. But with the advent of 11053, wala pa pong mga kaso.
So, 2018, yeah.
Exactly. So, ang dami pong provisions ng 11053 kahit isa-isahin natin na medyo may room for interpretation. Like, for example, the 3-day initiation rights. How do you interpret that?
Yes.
Ito rin po, ano pong definition ng
3-day
initiation? Exactly,
Wow.
yun po yung sinasabi ng batas. So, yan po, ito po yung mga kailangan natin ng clarity. And again, if there is no specific word coming from CHED or the Senate or the Congress who made this law, then we need to wait for a Supreme Court decision who would help us interpret.
Sige nga, Attorney
this
Jigs,
provision.
tingnan nga natin itong bagong batas. Ano ba ang mga prohibited acts ngayon under Republic Act 11053?
the law is very descriptive about specific
Thank you.
acts,
Sige po.
attorney. So, nandyan yung very common, which is the paddling, no? Yung pagpalo.
Okay. Mali talaga yun.
Makikita madalas majority of the time makikita na and the effect that it inflicts to the body, no?
Physical harm.
The physical harm. Weeping, paglalatigo, no? Branding, pagpapaso. Forced consumptions ng food, beverages, or even prohibited substances. Forced calisthenics sa pilitang pagsagawa ng jogging, push-ups, etc. And even silly, menial, and foolish task, no? Because that
Yes.
one will somehow create a psychological effect to the person. Meron ding acts na for as long as it's physical infliction of pain, it's described in the act, but other acts that are analogous to those described in the law.
Okay. Dito tayo sa nitty-gritty aspect nung siyempre I was once a prosecutor. So, what do you mean when you say inflicting a psychological harm? Does it mean to say that you need to present a psychological evaluation report or any expert witnesses on the matter to prove the fact of psychological harm?
Yeah, that's already evidentiary in nature, actually.
Yes,
oh.
yes.
So one can allege, no? But it's a matter of evidence before the prosecutor and how you would have that case prosper.
Kasi normally sa psychological kasi it will not prosper from the prosecution side kung sinabi
wala
mo
expert
lang.
witness.
Wala kang yun lang. I was humiliated, I was vexed, I was vilified. But you don't have any proof like a document, like a report or something from an expert witness or from any other testimony. Tama po ba?
Correct. By psychological, it has to be examined by a psychologist or an expert witness. Whether or not it falls.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And again, it has to be alleged specifically
Yes,
in the complaint. So
Okay. Maganda yung ano natin. Kasi even the forced calisthenics is very vague.
correct, yes.
Madali kasi like the PMAers, the PNPAers, may ganun eh. Hindi natin
Actually,
correct.
that falls
Madali
under
na
the exception na
Exception,
RA 49, yung to test the mental and physical fitness of prospective members of
Okay.
the uniformed services.
In fact, even in the other organizations, hindi ko na lang sasabihin.
Anong bang organ?
May specific talaga. Wherein, this is part of the ritual, part of the ancient practices, which even through time was ripened into practice. So, kasama po ba yun nakasali sa exemption?
Kuya Jerry, why don't we go? Attorney Sherwin, ano po yung exclusions?
Yeah. But before you answered, time check muna tayo.
Time check.
7:21 po ang gabi, magbabalik po ang kapatiran para sa bayan.
Yun.
Nagbabalik po tayo sa kapatiran para sa bayan. Panyerong Sherwin, question ko on exclusion sa batas. Ano po bang
Bago yan,
Kuya Jerry.
may mga bati eh.
Gusto magbati? Sige.
Babasahin ko muna ng mabilisan to si Chel Baldonado na nanonood ngayong gabi.
Si Shell, hello po.
Kay Gonzales,
Sis Kay, kumusta?
Joel Santos Milag, si Manong Leo ng Isabela ay nanonood habang nasa Reels daw siya. Wando watching from Pasig. Eman Odron from Middle East, mga nanonood.
Wow.
Saka babatiin ko din na mabilisan yung mga birthday celebration ngayon. Hindi natin nabati. Si Raymond Velasco, Kit Jan Austria, Brian Basa, na Kapitan Pepe Raj, Yel Mirason, belated happy birthday. Dato Amirasan, Lokman, Waida, belated happy birthday. Section Chair ng Kamanaba, incoming RD Johnson Lin, batch 2005. At saka, advance happy birthday kay Yusek Attorney Emily Padilla. Advance happy birthday po para bukas.
Kapatid
Okay.
dito yun
Yes,
ito rin, may mga babati. Kasi ano din to, sinabi sa akin sa Pasig City Masonic Lodge number 409. Okay, binabati ko si Jonathan Manguhan at Jonathan Duazo. Happy birthday po for this month of
June.
May pa lang. May pa lang. Tapos, binabati ko rin si Michael Sabino ng Bistro Madrid. Nilibre ako kanina dun sa Bistro. So, salamat. Ang sarap ng wine. Ang sarap.
Okay. At nating... meron pa? Sige,
tapos,
kuya.
meron tayong Luzon sa mga Demolay po. May Luzon na Conclave Jurisdiction Convention sa Baguio City. June 9 to 11 po. So, good luck po sa convention at yung mga may ritual sa competition, good luck din po.
Okay. May isa pa.
Nisa Kalisang Moto Brillantes, mga nanonood, Esmeralda Almano. Happy viewing po. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay.
Okay, at of course, wag nating kalalimutan, maligayang kaarawan po to retired Justice Alex Quiros, ang ating chairman of our Government's Commission for GOC. Jurisdiction ko pa yun. Okay, Kuya Sherwin, bulakan natin yung question ko. Ano ba yung exclusion sa batas?
So the law expressly provides specific po doon yung mga exclusions, no? So to those that are prospective members in the uniformed services, in the AFP, in the PNP, if it is intended to test their physical and mental fitness, that's exempted, no? For as long as it has the approval from the Secretary of the National Defense, the National Police Commission. Similarly to other uniform learning institutions. So, pwedeng mga BFP, mga BJMP, no? Yung mga uniform learning institutions. Another exception is yung nabanggit ni Attorney Jigs kanina, yung
Attorney Jigs. Oo. Na-promote ka na? Okay.
yung mga na-mention niya kanina na na for competition purposes, no? Yung sports
Athletics,
competitions,
yes.
athletics, no? Customary athletic activities for purposes of competition, and other activities that may legitimate purpose, no? So it may involve some physical acts, but for as long na established na naman that hazing is prohibited
So,
based on
teka lang, yung batas provides exclusions.
It does.
Kung may exclusions, that means you don't have to, sundin yung mga compliance requirements dito kasi
Sanitary requirements.
excluded,
Correct.
di ba?
Agree. And any acts po that they do would not be considered
Is this
as,
is this an exclusive list? Yung ito lang o
It is.
pwedeng i-clarify na similar activities pasok dito?
Nakalagay po doon any activities na may legitimate purpose.
Ayun ang gusto kong okay.
Not a legitimate purpose.
So, ibig sabihin,
Yung pala
pagka,
eh.
if you apply it for exclusion, it will be granted, pwede rin.
Hindi naman kailangan ng may mag-apply, di ba? Basta legitimate activity for may legitimate purpose.
Correct.
That has to be highlighted.
Going back to the definition, to the purpose test as defined by the law.
Okay.
Ito bang activity na to, ito bang act na to is required as a form of initiation for prospective members to gain admission into the sorority, fraternity, or organization, or as a requirement for their continued membership? So,
Okay.
pag nasa
Pasok
sports
yun.
competition ka, is it a requirement for them para
So,
sumali
ayun
sa...
nga yung question natin kanina, di ba? Paano kung Lions Club o Rotary Club?
If the purpose of which is for them to gain admission, to be accepted as a member, as a regular member, then that's definitely that is some form of initiation on itself. No?
Which is not
So-
included in the coverage of the law.
It's defined under as an initiation, the law provides specific conditions as to how an organization should conduct an initiation right.
Kaya pala ang dami natin
Even
trabaho.
prior to
Let's go,
the promulgation of this law, it's been practiced since time memorial, pwede rin yun.
Yung mga
Kasama sa exemption yon. Tama po ba?
now moving forward from 2018, for as long as these acts are not
Necessary.
analogous to the description
Yes,
ng
yes.
hazing activities.
Correct.
Yes,
correct.
yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, siguro iba naman yung natin. Sa mga gusto naman, yung gusto kasi nasasaktan. Mahilig.
Tama.
Diba? Nag-sign ng waiver. Halimbawa, si Gerardo Sadsad. Gusto ko feel ko talaga Gusto ko talagang ganito So,
Madami po.
pwede ba yun, Attorney Jigs?
Yes, Fiscal, just to address your question. RA 11053, specifically Section 12 of this particular law, actually addresses that question. So, sinabi nila dito that nullity, that waiver or consent is considered as null and void when it comes to the application of Republic Act 11053. Meaning, kahit na yung applicant recruit neophyte or bagong aplikante sa isang organization, frat or soro, nag-sign ng waiver expressly or implicitly stating na kahit po gawin nyo physical acts sa akin or violence or whatever, then that cannot be used as a defense for not complying with the anti-hazing law. So ibig sabihin, kahit po may waiver, it still constitutes hazing kapag meron pa rin pong physical or psychological harm inflicted against that particular recruit. So wala
At
po
least
yan.
malinaw.
At
Malinaw.
consistent
Malinaw.
with that, pati po yung konsepto ng praeter intentionem, when you don't intend to commit so grave a wrong,
As long as not
hindi rin
committed,
po siya
intent to
pwedeng
commit.
gamitin mitigating circumstance sa batas ngayon na to. Kasi like for example, hazing, ayaw mo naman patayin, di ba? Gusto mo lang,
Kikilitiin mo lang siya.
Exactly. Yun lang yung gusto mong gawin. Pero ultimately, what happened is that you injure that person or knock on wood, napatay or may
Paano,
ibang
attorney, kung manunumpa pa lang siya, inatake.
Yun.
May sakit para sa puso.
Ay, parang alam ko yun.
Di ba?
Oo nga.
Ganun,
May ganun, may ganun.
Just
So-
to on the waiver also, it works both ways, no? Even from the applicants, if he volunteered na, hey, I wanted to experience the traditional
Yes,
way,
yes.
or even if the waiver or consent came from the fraternity itself, that sa mata ng batas, that's only a mere scrap of paper. Wala siya, void siya. Opo.
Ito may
Hindi po
nagtatanong
magagamit.
na listener si Anthony Vilea, no? Tinatanong niya, may requirements daw ba pagka school-based initiation rights? Paano naman sa community-based initiation rights at ano ang mga examples ng allowable na initiation rights? Ang lupit mo, Sir Anthony Vilea.
Yes, sige, address po natin yan. So, yung batas po mismo, sinasabi po dito kung ano po yung allowed na initiation rights. So, basta ang kailangan, tulad po na sinabi namin kanina, Attorney Ted, that if these are rituals, certain rights that are not considered as hazing activities, then it shall be allowed. Kaso, ang sinasabi po dito, inaalaw lang po ng batas kapag authorized initiation rights yan. So, ibig sabihin, paano ba magiging authorized yan? Kailangan meron kang application, di ba?
Burdened with conditions.
Correct, exactly. So, dapat meron kang application of initiation rights na isasend sa school 7 days before the initiation rights itself. So, kailangan dun sa application na yon nakasulat specifically kung sino yung mga recruits, applicants, mga gustong pumasok, at sino din yung mga membro ng organization na magkakandak na initiation rights na yan. It will state specifically the date, place, time, kung saan i-hold,
And the manner.
kung paano gagawin yung initiation rights. And this one should be posted in conspicuous places in the school or in the community kung saan gagawin yung initiation rights na yan. At ang napaka-importante pa pong provision ng batas is kailangan yung application na yan, hindi yan maalis until after 3 days kung kailan natapos na yung initiation. So again, the primary reason for that one is kung may mangyari man, di ba, na hindi natin na-expect, kunwari may masaktan, may namatay or whatever, alam natin kung sino yung mga tao na liable for those offense or
Pero
violation.
siguro, Attorney Jigs, yung sinasabi mong 3 days, so vague kasi you cannot say na it's intermittent or continuous, di ba?
Cumulative.
Medyo vague yun eh.
Okay. So, fiscal, siguro po yung nire-refer nyo po yung 3 days na
3 days,
initiation rights na sinasabi ng batas. Well, yes. Meron pong mga talk ang ginawa ng CHED, ng DepEd, regarding this. And we were really we really wanted to get their take, their opinion, their solid opinion on the matter. Paano ba i-interpret ang 3-day initiation rights? Would you consider this as consecutive days, sunod-sunod na araw? Or cumulative ba? Meaning, pwede mo ba siyang gawin? Exactly. Sa isang araw, and then i-continue mo ulit sa isang araw, at mag-add up siya ng 3 araw, di ba? Number of hours. But unfortunately, CHED, DepEd, whenever they do their information drive on 11053, ayaw po nila magbigay ng specific na answer dyan, na conclusive answer on the matter. That's why ang stand po dyan is until and unless we get a declaration from the Supreme Court how to interpret the 3-day initiation rights.
Maximum number of days.
Yes.
So
ano po yan? Interpretation po yan ng mga organization.
Yes,
so they need to be creative on how to apply
so
it.
they get it right na yung 3 days can also be intermittent.
Exactly. Opo. Pwede po. Kung creative po ang organization.
Creative, yes.
Actually, tulad nga po sinabi namin kanina, yung po organization pa na kasama kami, we actually passed, the Board of Trustees just passed an enhanced pledge program.
Ito ba yung fraternity nyo po?
Yes po, yes po. Apo,
Ano ba yung fraternity nyo?
kami po ay membro ng Alpha Phi Omega. Yun po, service fraternity po siya. Shoutout po sa mga apa, sa Gamma Pi.
Alpha Phi Omega. Philippines. And buong mundo.
Yes, exactly. So yun po, this was just passed in our previous General Assembly. Wherein dito po nakasulat how we interpreted the 3-day the 3-day initiation right. So para po sa grupo, we just need to ensure that there are no initiation rights being done during the period na may break, pero ang pag-interpret po namin, it's cumulative. So may isang araw po na we call it Alpha Day, and then may break yan, walang initiation rights na gagawin or whatsoever, and then may isa pang araw ulit na gagawin na naman yung initiation rights, and then another day. So three cumulative
Matter of
days.
creativity again.
Exactly. So yun po ang goal din po namin ni Attorney Sherwin, hopefully at the end of our information drive na gagawin sa Pilipinas or kung saan man, makapaggawa po kami ng gantong comprehensive guide, di ba?
Yes,
To
yes.
a fratman on how to apply the Anti-Hazing Act of 2018.
From a fratman's point of view, ano yung guides na susundin nila?
So
no?
ito school-based to yung tinutukoy natin o as kasama din yung mga community?
Kasama din.
Kasama rin
okay.
community-based.
Yung pong ginawa natin na enhanced pledge program for APO, it's specific for collegiate based. Kasi collegiate based po ang APO. Yes. But if we can actually customize it for,
paano naman requirements sa community-based fraternities? Ano yung mga
It's very similar, Attorney Ted.
Okay.
No? So, nandun yung authorization letter, but instead sa school administrator to the LGU concerned, to the barangay. Or to the municipality or the city. And then the list of names ng mga prospective members or mga recruits, names of the people that will be involved in the initiation rites, and the manner, the date, the time, the place, the initiation rites. And nandun na rin yung meron silang undertaking that there should be no infliction of physical or psychological harm. May undertaking na hindi sila magkakandak ng hazing. Additionally, merong specific doon na provision na wala sa school-based. Submission of medical certificate.
Yes, correct.
So, may nagko-comply, that's something that we have to explore, we have to check with these documentary requirements, reportorial requirements, and monitoring requirements. Aside from the documents, aside from the representatives to monitor, there's also an accreditation requirement for these schools to operate within the campuses, So nandyan na, the law leaves it with the school administrators on how to create guidelines on how to accept these organizations to operate within the schools. And the problem is, the dilemma with school administrators nowadays is that may mga organizations na ayaw magpa-recognize, ayaw magpa-register within the school. They wanted to operate underground. The problem is, pag may mishaps, the name of the schools will be dragged, Madadamay sila.
We can say na basta may requirement of initiation, any organization, miski anong tawag sa kanila, fraternity or pasok. Basta may requirement of initiation dito sa mga eskwelahan.
Correct.
Diba?
Actually,
So kailangan mo talaga magkapa-accredit. Unless, sige, pwede kayo sumali. Basta kung isang organisasyon na youth, mag-sign up ka lang dyan, okay na. Hindi yung covered. Pero kung may oath taking, pasok. Ganun ba yun?
Attorney Ted, it actually goes both ways.
Okay.
Yung sinabi po kanina ni Attorney Sherwin, that is from the point of view of the fraternity or sorority.
Or any organization with initiation.
Correct, yes. Kailangan din po natin tingnan dito yung responsibility ng mga paaralan, ng mga schools, ng mga higher learning institutions. Because they are actually the ones given the mandate by CHED, by this particular rule, for them to promulgate rules regarding recognition of fraternities and sororities and other organizations within the school campus. So, kapag po ayaw ng eskwelahan na i-recognize ang fraternity or sorority, ano naman po ang gagawin ng mga collegiate groups natin kung ayaw talaga silang i-recognize?
Yes. Tony, meron yung maputol lang kita, yung mga pinapapirma waiver like sa Chinese school before when I was studying. Pinapapirma na kami ng waiver na hindi ka nasali sa fraternity whatsoever, mga ganun. Is it valid yung mga ganun?
Well, the law leaves it with the school administrators to have their own guidelines, but definitely I believe the law does not intend to prohibit fraternities, sororities, and organizations, because it's a constitutionally guaranteed right to join organizations or to associate. But then again, it leaves to the school administrators kung ano yung guidelines nila, ano yung mga requirements nila, not just to outrightly discriminate dahil Greek sounding yung fraternity and whatnot, Pero definitely, the school has to have a guideline. It could be in the student handbook.
So it is incumbent sa eskwelahan.
Yes.
Kasi parang ito example lang. Let's say, itong estudyante gusto sumali sa Association ng mga LGBTQ students. Tapos may oath taking sila. Di may initiation, so pasok sila. Di ba?
Yes.
So, di ba, we have to clarify kung paano the school has to clarify. Kasi kung prinibate mo naman siya, against freedom of assembly yan, di ba?
Correct.
Tama po yan. Kasi lagi pong dalawang schools of thought yan. It's the right to association, freedom of assembly, tulad nga po sabi ni Sir, and the right to life. Di ba? Right to life. So lagi pong nag-ano yan Those are the two opposing views po, nagka-clash po yan.
So, it cannot be abused. A school cannot say na, nag-taking kayo, that means kasama kayo sa...
kaya po, Attorney Ted, kailangan talaga mag-promulgate ang mga paaralan ng provisions kung paano i-implement ang RA 11053. Napakalinaw naman po ang sinabi ng batas that 60 days after this law has been passed, kailangan lahat ng mga eskwelahan mag-promulgate ng rules regarding this. And apparently right now, wala
naman nag-ano.
So actually, yun din po yung goal namin ni Attorney Sherwin in our information drive. Kapag pumupunta
awareness
sa schools, na may responsibility ang schools. Hindi lang pwedeng hugasan nyo ang kamay ninyo na hindi namin ine-recognize yan so dapat hindi kami penalize. Hindi pa ganun yun because the life of the student, it's still under this
di ba risk yun sa eskwelahan?
Exactly.
Kung wala sila, wala kayo.
Tama, yun po yung
violation ng batas yan. Ano yung, let's say, may nangyari nga, wala silang guidelines. Ano yung penalty nila? Yung eskwelahan.
Yan.
Ano po yan? Although there hasn't been any case yet, pero dahil po sinabi ng batas mismo that they need to promulgate rules, and kapag nagka-hazing po at may nangyari talaga na acts relating to hazing at walang pinomulgate na rules, maaari po siguro masuspende ang kanilang lisensya or they can even be
that is a ground for suspension of your school's license?
Well, Attorney, ano naman yung nakalaan na kaparasahan sa mga mga fraternities and they violate?
Mga who participate, siguro ito sinasabi ni Kuya, yung sanction naman sa mga violators, whether you are the principal, you're the accessory or the accomplice in a crime, or whether you just merely participated or you're just merely present in the initiation, and there is a death or any physical injury or any humiliation that was committed. So ano ba yung mga violation, mga sanction doon?
Mahaba yung penalties, no? Pero balik i-correlate ko
lang natin para kalaman ng para ma-warn naman sila, baka sinasabi puro kayo discussion dito, wala naman sanction doon.
Tama. So that's a huge deterrent actually, no?
Ito na.
So we're capitalizing on in explaining the punishments, no, mga penalties and fines to deter yung mga nagpaplano na gumawa nun. Just to correlate yung minention ni Sir Ted kanina about the schools.
Yes.
Just going back on that one since na-mention naman, they have a vicarious liability, no? Kasi in loco parentis yung schools natin, no? So if the school, just to relate on that, if the school allowed or approved the initiation rights based on the submitted documentary requirements and in compliance to that, pero may nangyaring hazing, merong fine na 1 million pesos. Okay, yung school, no?
Kulong meron din.
Well, the school has a juridical personality, natural person, no? So
natural.
I'll pass it to Attorney Jigs kung ano yung mga salient provisions na penalties natin.
So, ano po tayo? Tingnan po natin to depending on the acts or omissions committed by a person. Ito po, sinasabi ng batas, any person, so regardless if you're a member of the fraternity, sorority, organization, as long as you participated in the actual planning, or as long as you participated in the actual hazing, may penalty na po yan. And the penalty is reclusion perpetua. And a fine of 3 million pesos.
If it resulted to
if it's resulted to death, sodomy, rape, and mutilation. So yun po yung sinasabi ng batas. Now, if it was not...
damages.
Of course, plus damages. Kapag po ipiplead natin yan.
Yes, sir.
Now, if there is no death, sodomy, mutilation, or rape, then the penalty it's still reclusion perpetua, which is 20 years and 1 day to 40 years. Plus a fine of 2 million pesos. So yan po yung
meron lang 1 million na difference sa fine. So it speaks of volume how our lawmakers are very serious in deterring yung hazing, no? Kasi kahit walang namatay, walang na rape, walang mutilation or sodomy, kahit physical injury lang, RP pa rin, na reclusion perpetua pa din.
At 1 milyong pisos.
And
2 milyong pisos.
Dalawa na.
And just to add, the presence, the mere presence is already a prima facie evidence that person participated. So kapag ikaw yung na-plead, di ba? Nasama ka sa kaso. Ikaw yung magpo-prove na, ano po yan, hindi po ako nag-participate sa hazing. Nandyan lang po talaga ako sa ano na yan.
The burden of proof.
Pumunta lang ako sa banyo. Mga ganyan.
Pero pa, attorney, alam ko, hindi lang yun eh. Meron pang isa, wherein you did not participate, you're not it did not result into mutilation. Meron pa eh.
But
Which is fine of 1 million and the prison yata yun. Tama po ba?
correctional.
Correctional.
Opo. So, meron po dito. So, kapag po na-induce lang, di ba?
Yes,
yung
yes.
tao,
Yes.
yung victim, to be present at that particular, at that initiation rights, unauthorized initiation rights. Ang penalty po dyan, reclusion temporal, and 1 million. Fine, 1 million.
Okay. So, on that note, time check muna.
Sige pa.
7:48. Babalik po kami. Bumabalik po tayo dito sa Kapatiran para sa Bayan. Kuya Ricky, may tanong ka.
What if attorney, di ba kadalasan pagka may fraternity gatherings or something, they rent a place, di ba? May initiation. What if yung caretaker nagsumbong? Sabi niya, may nangyayari po doon sa loob.
May pumuntang pulis.
May pumunta pulis, pero sabi niya, wala po nangyayaring ganito, nakataligid po kami lahat.
Dininay.
Dininay.
That's a very interesting question, Sir Ricky, no? Actually, the law has a provision regarding that question that addresses that question. Now, owners and lessees of venues kung saan ginanap yung hazing, yung alleged hazing, may liability din po sila, no? If they have personal knowledge and they did not do any act to prevent or to report the incident to the proper authorities without peril or risk to their lives or to their families. So the operative word there is personal knowledge. Kung may personal knowledge at hindi mo na i-report, you did not do any act to stop it or to prevent or to report it to the proper authorities, liability is also principal, yung nabanggit ni Attorney Jigs kanina, no?
Yun nga, paano nga attorney kung dininay?
Kung dininay.
There's
evidence there.
evidentiary in nature kasi personal knowledge ang hinahanap natin doon sa owner or lessee of the place. In relation to that, gusto ko lang din pasadahan yung parents. Actually, this time around, yung parents pala may ano din, pwede ding ma-implicate, no? Parents
Kailangan nyo, highlight siya.
Correct. Kasi parents nung fraternity member, kung saan ginanap yung hazing doon sa area niya, madadamay. As again, yung participation na is principal kasi wala nang degree of participation this time around.
Yung natin dito, yung pledgee o yung mga initiators?
Yung kung saan naganap yung hazing ng parents, yung members, may-ari ng bahay. And again, the what we're trying to look for here is the knowledge, the personal knowledge of the parent. So if yung parent na may-ari ng bahay, yung anak niya member ng frat, doon ginanap nangyaring hazing, and it wasn't proven na although he or she has personal knowledge, hindi siya nag-stop, hindi siya nag-prevent or report to the proper authorities na wala namang risk or peril sa buhay niya, implicated din. So the hassle in engaging into a protracted litigation, no, just to prove na wala kang personal knowledge, so sobrang hassle.
Ito may nagtatanong si Anthony Bilay na naman, tinatanong niya kung meron daw bang alternative way.
Yes. Maganda pong i-address natin yan kasi gaya nga po sinabi natin.
Positive na muna tayo.
Kapag wala nang hazing, may mga nagsabi parang boring na pumasok sa organization dahil wala nang, di ba? Sinasabi po namin hindi po ganun dapat ang pagtingin dyan. There are several alternatives to hazing. And nilitahan niya po sinasabi po namin ni Attorney Sherwin whenever we do our information drive. Sinasabi namin dyan that organizations can go ahead with giving leadership training sa mga papasok. They can also do our rover scouting. Pwede rin po magkaroon ng mga basic skills po, na disaster training skills na pwede natin ibigay sa mga bagong papasok. And again, ang lagi naming services, exactly, community services to their school, to their community, and to the nation. Lagi nga na pong sinasabi ni Attorney Sherwin that you enter the school hindi para maging parte ng organization, di ba? Para hindi maging parte ng fraternity or sorority or whatsoever. You're there really to study.
Yes.
But in the event na gusto mo na talagang mag-join, then make sure to join the organization that would promote not physical violence, but it actually promotes service to the community and to the students.
Ito ba isang tanong lang na mabilisan na ganyan ba yung ginagawa nyo ngayon sa samahan ng Alpha Phi Omega?
Salamat po sa pag-promote, Sir Zoppy. Pero yes po, arguably, Alpha Phi Omega is really one of the best service organizations, fraternities in the Philippines and internationally as well. So, kaya po ang ginagawa namin, although tradition really is a strong force in the organization, marami pa rin pong nagsasabi na dapat hindi natin marami po against sa pledge program na bago. Kami po talaga ay we go into the different collegiate chapters and discussing with them the enhanced pledge program. Kasi para po sa amin, hindi naman po ito ang prinsipyo, di ba? Yes. Na kung bakit tinatag ang mga organizations natin. Really, it's because of camaraderie, association, and more so sa service po na pinuprovide natin. So ganun po. Yes, but to answer your question, opo, yan po ang goal ng apo.
Okay.
And on that positive note, sabi nga sa English, ang bilis ng oras. So, ang dami natin gustong talakayan, pero guess, dami talaga ng topics dito eh.
Part 2 pa tayo nito. Marami pa rin nanonood. Hanggang ngayon, 22,000 ang viewers natin.
Attorney Jigs, Attorney Sherwin, I guess, alam ko, meron gusto kayong i-highlight sa inyong advocacy, ha? Maraming salamat po na sumali kayo dito. Magpa-part 2 tayo, hopefully, no?
Yes.
Pero anong gusto nyong i-highlight? Attorney Jigs.
Gusto ko lang i-lift itong specific statement coming from Dungo versus People. So ito yung kauna-unahang conviction ng old law ng 1849, no? I-lift ko lang yung prefatory statement in English, ano? So the fraternal contract should not be signed by blood, celebrated with pain, marred with injuries, and perpetrated through suffering. So madaling sabi, para pumasok sa kapatiran, sa isang kontratang kapatiran, dapat hindi lagdaan ng dugo, hindi ipinagdiwang ng sakitan, no? At hindi perpetrated, no? With katuparan with injuries, no? And with sufferings.
Pananakit.
At pananakit. Yun lang yung gusto kong i-lift kasi napaka-powerful nung words na yun coming straight from the Supreme Court itself.
Okay, Attorney Sherwin?
Yes.
Baka gusto mo natin Attorney Sherwin sa family.
Again, okay. Bago chance mo. Attorney Sherwin.
Very quickly, binabati ko yung may bahay ko, si Jackie, dalawang anak, si Jashner, tsaka si Shikaina. Sa mga brothers and sisters ko sa Alpha Phi Omega. Shout out sa CEU Law sa PC 205, sa kay Brad Mike Manahan, si Arlene Villanueva, sa lahat ng mga NCAR.
Yung mga nanalo na
yung congratulations sa mga nanalo sa recently concluded election, no? So yun, maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga Brads and Cisco, mga organizations ko, Falcones Legis, the Fraternal Order of Eagles. Kumusta po kayo at mabuhay po kayo lahat.
Maraming salamat, Attorney Sherwin. Attorney Jigs po.
Okay, maraming salamat po ulit. So, again, ito lang po yung iwan ko. Remember po, always remember that the choices you make would actually determine the trajectory of the future, not only of your fraternity, your sorority, your organization, but the future of the next generation. So, kung bibigyan po kayo ng option, if you are given the chance to choose, lagi po natin pipiliin unity over division or diversity. Lagi po natin pipiliin ang understanding over judgment. Lagi po natin pipiliin ang growth over stagnation. So yun po, again, maraming salamat po on behalf of Attorney Sherwin and myself sa Kapatiran para sa Bayan for the opportunity po para sa information drive na to. Shout out din po sa, of course, sa aking misis, Shyness Nasser. Hello. And of course po sa aking makulit na baby, ang daming comment na babasa ko. Hi Papa daw. Si Sadie Aquino. And yung ka-graduate ko lang po na from Ateneo, si Destiny Gabriel. And of course, all the members of Gamma Pi Alumni Association, Gamma Pi Fraternity and Sorority, and Alpha Phi Omega. At lahat po ng mga instrumental para po pagpasa ng EAPP. Of course, Paolo Gomez, ang ating current president, si Attorney Norma Singson de Leon, Noringo, Kay Gonzalez, Christy Garcia, and all others po. Maraming salamat.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Tony Jigs. Mga co-host ko, starting with Panyero.
Babatiin ko lang to, yung yung last celebration ng Mu Omicron chapter, nag-celebrate po sila kahapon. Binabati ko kayo ng 15th anniversary. Mu Omicron chapter ng Alpha Phi Omega.
Alright.
Ayan. Blaba, yan na po I did na.
Kuya Ricky.
Well, ako, isa na napatunayan ko ngayong gabi at natutunan. Bawal tayong utusang maglaba against our will.
Kuya Jerry.
Salamat din at you spend with me sa holiday nung sa Thailand. Hi din kay Emil, hi din kay Shane, and all others. Hindi ko mabanggit lahat eh.
Okay.
Yes.
At last but not the least, sa aking may bahay, ating Bunny, advance happy birthday this Saturday, June 3. At dahil dito, hindi ako makaka-join next week kasi papunta kaming Paris dahil lang sa kanya. Ang aking boss na si Ellie, ang ating daughter. Maraming salamat sa pagkinig nyo at panood nyo sa ating show ngayon.
Susunod na po.
Susunod na po,
Ang Mystic Mondays.
ang Mystic Mondays.
Ayan. Teka.
Stories by Pangga.
Yan.
Kuya Jerry.
Nika Abaw.
With Nika Aba.